In this video, we'll show you how to change the inner and outer tie rods on your Dodge Ram 1500. You can find them on CarParts.com via the link in the description. For safety reasons, we strongly suggest watching our video on how to jack your Dodge Ram 1500 safely. Turn the disc outwards. This will facilitate the following steps. You can now see the outer tie rod. The components to be removed are very often seized up, so don't hesitate to brush and to use penetrating oil to make removal easier. With a marker, trace a line between the inner tie rod and the outer tie rod. This will be useful later on during its assembly and disassembly. With a 24mm wrench, loosen the lock nut on the outer tie rod. Hold the outer tie rod with a 21mm wrench to prevent it from turning. The lock nut is there to prevent any rotation of the two parts towards each other, which could have an impact on the wheel alignment of your vehicle. Using a 24mm wrench, unscrew the outer tie rod holding nut. Restrict the rotation of the ball joint using a ratchet and a 10mm socket. If you do not have a ball joint puller, a tool specifically designed for this task, take a hammer and hit the knuckle. The ball joint should come out of the knuckle. Unscrew the outer tie rod and remove it. Use the markings made with the marker to return the lock nut to its original position. Then, measure the distance between the lock nut and the end of the inner tie rod using a caliper. In any case, a wheel alignment check will have to be carried out by a professional soon after having performed this operation. Remove the lock nut from the inner tie rod. With pliers, remove the external metallic clip on the protective sleeve of the inner tie rod. Using a flathead screwdriver, remove the waterproof clip on the sleeve. Remove the waterproof clip on the sleeve. Remove the sleeve. Using a tie rod removal wrench, a specific tool for carrying out this job, you can now loosen everything without difficulty. To do this, insert the tool up to the fixed part of the inner tie rod. Then, with the help of a breaker bar, unscrew the inner tie rod. For great content, our best price, and fast shipping, download the CarParts.com app now. If the inner tie rod is dented, you can loosen it using an adjustable wrench. You can order the inner and outer tie rods used in the video on CarParts.com via the link in the description. Take the new inner tie rod and unscrew the lock nut supplied with it. Before installing the new inner tie rod, apply a medium thread locker to prevent accidental unscrewing. Then install the spacer. Put the inner tie rod back on the steering rack. Still using the same tool or using an adjustable wrench, screw the inner tie rod back in. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Then remove the tool. Now take the new sleeve and clamps provided in the kit. Then apply silicone grease to the part of the sleeve that will be in contact with the steering rack and the part in contact with the inner tie rod. Then position the inner collar correctly. Place the sleeve on the shock steering rack. You can now crimp the collar with collar pliers or pincers. During this operation, you will work on the steering system of your vehicle. A professional alignment check should be performed to ensure that your steering system is once again perfectly adjusted and functioning. Replace the outer collar. Screw the lock nut back on until the distance measured with the caliper is reached. Take the new outer tie rod and unscrew the lock nut supplied with it. Put the outer tie rod back in place until it touches the lock nut. During this operation, you will work on the steering system of your vehicle. A professional alignment check should be performed to ensure that your steering system is once again perfectly adjusted and functioning. Using a wire brush, scrub the knuckle. Clean the outer tie rod bearing surface with paper towels. Apply silicone grease to the flat part that will be in contact with the sleeve of the outer tie rod. Do not grease the inside of the cone. Use a wrench to rotate the inner tie rod in order to place the outer tie rod in the correct position. Put the outer tie rod in place in the knuckle. Put the nut supplied with the new part in place. and tighten it using a 24mm wrench. Restrict the rotation of the ball joint using a ratchet and a 10mm socket. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Finish tightening the lock nut using a 1 1/16 wrench by holding the inner tie rod still with the help of a 22mm wrench to avoid damaging the tie rod. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put your truck back on the ground before properly fixing the wheels in place. Operation complete.
Quality parts, priced right.